Well, let me go on the line and speak to President of the African Development Council, Engineer Dr. Achu Sogbe. Doc, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time on 505.
Good evening. Good evening.
Great. So, Germany, Italy are demanding a cautious approach and an extension. Was ECOWAS in a rush, hanged its integrity, or you think it's being used by France, US, and etc.?
Yes, as I said, the possible implication on military intervention by ECOWAS in Niger will be very, very catastrophic if we dare enter Niger militarily. The only way possible is negotiation, diplomatic negotiation, negotiation in terms of peaceful negotiation. The reason is that could easily lead to a proxy war. A proxy war, let us take note of that. So far, it's almost 5 countries that are now being ruled militarily. What that means is that, and these all countries declare support for Niger. And all these countries are at least backed by Russian, government. So it's going to be another Ukraine war in Africa. What that means is that the US and France will now back ECOWAS, and then Russia will back the 3 or 4 countries, and there's going to be endless war in Africa for the first time. So ECOWAS should not dare enter Niger with force. They should rather fight the insurgents. ECOWAS should rather fight the insurgents that is bothering a group of countries around within their community. I'm talking of the Boko Haram and so. They should rather fight them rather than go into Niger. You see, let's be very clear here. The situation in Africa is that Africa has all the natural resources, but we do not have a say. Our constitutions put natural resources of African countries in the presidency under the guidance or custodian of the president. And this intent being protected for the external forces against the citizenry. The typical example is the uranium being, exploited in these countries, especially Niger, to power France. So at the moment, the immediate thing the military leaders did was to take over their natural resource, which is in good direction. Again, there were certain post-colonial instruments put in place to perpetuate enslavement on the people of these francophone countries. Such instruments of making sure they don't have full control over their economy must be annulled, must be repealed. So if and only if all these things are put on the table, and the subsequent, the next president of this country, should it be a transition to democracy, must obey all this law. That henceforth, the Nigerian government or people of Nigeria have full access to their uranium and can sell it to whichever country they want. And then they have access to their economy. The money, reserve, everything is within their country. It is that can end is brouhaha. ECOWAS rather see to that. Okay. ECOWAS rather, Nigerian is the chairman of ECOWAS. The question is that what percentage share do Nigeria have in their natural resources? They should rather fight that. Ghana, we have food. Crude oil, we have gold. How much percentage do we have as citizens during the exploitation of it? It is bad at the moment. The situation Africa finds itself, the youth has no job. Meanwhile, our resources are being protected against us, but for the foreign missions.
Okay.
Yes, I pause here. If I have any other, but I have a lot to give. But you might have any direction of the question.
Sure. Now, lots of Ghanaians are worried about our brothers and sisters living in Niger. 2 weeks into this, we have not had any notice from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What are the risks for Ghanaians in Niger?
Yes, this is rather unfortunate. It's rather unfortunate, and I'm sure Ghanaian government is listening to this very important interview. At the moment, as I say, no Ecowas to contribute any military force towards that suddenly act they want to enter in. It is going to be an endless war because you cannot fight Russia and win like they are doing it in Ukraine. So they should not venture into it. They should not venture into it. And for that matter, I know that it should be the reason why the government of Ghana is not in a hurry to pull out, a citizenry from that country.
What's the best way out now that the rebel French Ecowas states are taking a position?
Can you come again?
I'm asking that what's the best way out now that the rebel French Ecowas states are also taking position?
Okay, so meaning there were rebels within that geographical location. They are also having their own position out there. So the whole thing is that all is not well. The youth are angry on this continent, Africa. We have over 56% of natural resources across the globe. We contribute to over 56% of natural resources, but we do not have a say. The way forward is that the ECOWAS should come in terms of dialogue, agreeing to certain rules that have been put in place after during the post-colonial whatever, where Francophone countries do not own their economy. That must be repealed in absolute terms, and then export of uranium and other natural resources to foreign countries must now be controlled by themselves. I'm talking of the Nigerian government, Nigerian themselves. It is then that I think there will be calm will return, and then they take it up. Anything other than that, it will be difficult because the youth at the moment has nothing to protect, and for that matter, they can go until they reclaim their sovereignty.
Now, talking about the intervention of ECOWAS, last week we spoke to an international relations consultant. He says that ECOWAS have failed in all its dealings, and that we should scrap ECOWAS because ECOWAS is doing nothing about it. Do you also think the same way?
Yes, as I'm saying, at the moment, ECOWAS is I will say a rubber stamp of the West. They protect them to guide. They are more or less like, slave masters. They are in to protect our natural resources against us for them.
Okay.
If they go in that direction, then ECOWAS is of no use for us.
Right.
But if they can work up and then to the challenge and still realize that no, they have to do something other, like of the former Gaddafi, who during his chairmanship of AU proved to the whole world that African can do it, and he started before his demise, before he was killed. I know most of these ECOWAS governments are also afraid not to say the truth, not to fight for the continent because they may be killed like Gaddafi. But I tell you, they should do the right, even if they are killed. Their ancestors, they will be remembered like the likes of Gaddafi and Nkrumah.
Right. Doc, thank you so much for your time. That's Engineer Dr. Achu Sogbe there. Let me still stay on the line and speak to